Okay, so this is going to be on top of my head. I don't have any notes to follow. These are going to be my these are going to be my first impressions, my pros and cons of the game. While I play this game at 30 frames per second, which is the first con I want to talk about. Let me get to the top of the building because I don't have any flashy footage or anything amazing to show anybody. I'm just playing the game while I talk. Having this game at 30 frames per second is absolutely unacceptable. It just is. There should be no reason why this game should be running at 30 frames per second. It's just such a simple fix, at least in my opinion. I'm not a game developer. I don't know anything about game development. But I do believe that if they just went and made it to where you can toggle off ray tracing, it would something could happen. I don't know personally, because ray tracing is a very demanding thing in any video game, and having ray tracing on 4K, yeah, no wonder it's 30 frames per second. So with that out of the way, that's the first con I want to talk about and discuss, is the 30 frames per second. It does make the game just okay and alright to play. It's not bad, but it's not good either. And that is the thing. I wanted this game to run at 60 frames per second. Something. But instead, we're given just your bare bones, not even standard anymore, 30 frames per second. A lot of gamers who have now played a PS5 are accustomed to 60 frames per second, especially with the toggle off and on feature. You know, developers have given options to gamers to actually play the game at a higher frame rate. And when you're so used to that, when you're so used to playing at a higher frame rate, it becomes a standard. I wouldn't say it's spoiling. I wouldn't say you're spoiling yourself. Oh, no. Simply put, I'd rather play a game at 60 frames per second than 4K. I'm just being honest. I'd rather do that. The other thing I don't like is the gameplay loop does seem, as of right now, a little repetitive. Essentially, what you do each night is that you go on patrol. You go on patrol, and I will try not to show any spoilers. You go on patrol, and essentially you do these premeditated crimes that are happening around the city. And you collect, I guess they're called clues? Yeah, clues. You collect clues to get more of these. And as you progress through the story, you'll unlock new side activities like caches. I'm not going to say anything because, if anybody is wanting to watch this without the video, but you unlock more activities to do as you progress through the story. The issue, though, is each of these missions, these premeditated missions, are, even though they're wide in variety, as you can see here, we have bomb threat, crime scene, armored truck robbery, armed robbery, criminal stronghold, illegal hack, kidnapping in progress, criminal in hiding, witness under attack, and officer under attack. All of those are, wildly different. However, what you have to do to get to that goal is the same. Attacking the enemies. Any of the factions, whether it be the freaks, the mobs, whatever. Either you can go in stealthily, or you can go in guns blazing, quote unquote. And that might be fun for some people. Again, there's nothing wrong with the gameplay loop. It's just that it is, to me, very repetitive. Now, the combat should be the selling point for this game. And to me, the combat is serviceable. That's the best way to describe it. It's serviceable. It's okay. Sure, it looks very flashy. I will give you an example. I will go fight these guys down here, and I will prove to you what I mean. Now, as you can see here, the animations for taking down enemies and the punching, all of that looks absolutely amazing. The way Nightwing moves around I love this. Big brute over there. Boom. There is no counter button. It's only dodging, essentially. And I'm going to do my best to actually discuss this while I fight these guys, because I'm not the best at doing two things at once. But essentially, every knight has a different way of playing the game. And every enemy is basically this. Big brute and a bunch of small guys. As I beat this guy down. And that was a perfect evade. Essentially. Those are clues that you collect within the gameplay or within the combat to gather more premeditated crimes around the city through each patrol, aka night, I would say. Alright, man. Ow. Well, can I... It's very RPG-esque, especially when you saw that. You gather these little things around the world, like little clues. You get these holographic things that are like icons of, weapons or ranged weapons or outfits. The combat, again, looks very flashy, and it's serviceable. There's nothing wrong with it per se, but a lot of people will. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of people are going to compare this game to the Arkham series. It's just going to happen, and in my opinion, that's not really a fair comparison because they are totally different games in every way. Sure, they have the same name, same guy. Batman's in it, or was in this one. It's a Batman game. And we haven't had one in 7 years, and they're going to compare it to the Arkham series, which is understandable, but to me, in my opinion, it's not really a fair comparison because they're totally different games in every way. In every way. The map is definitely big. Very big. And I do like the attention to details that not the promos, what am I talking about? The selling points for this game was the different types of areas in each section. And if I go over here, I can show you. We have North Gotham, Downtown Gotham, Historic Gotham, and Lower Gotham. And each thing, you get to see what each of them hold. And I do like the attention to detail. How each borough essentially looks different and feels different thematically. The traversal mechanics is okay as well. It's just okay. Batgirl has the same... Basically, if you want to play like a Batman character close to Batman, then Batgirl is your girl. No pun intended. Her gliding mechanic or gliding thing is okay. It's nothing like the Arkham series whatsoever. You don't get to do that cool gliding thing. Like it feels very stiff. Almost as if you're like driving a plane or flying a kite. That's essentially how it feels. And everyone else is, everyone like Nightwing here has the Fortnite the Fortnite little thing which you can just use all day. It's very good because you can just hold it, and I don't think he goes down. It looks like he's going down, but I don't know. It's a good traversal. The flying the something I forgot what it was called, but this is a very good traversal mechanic, at least in my opinion. Gotham City is, in my opinion, again, a lot of people compare this game to the Arkham Knight, which has like the best Gotham look to it. However, I do think that this game has a very good Gotham. It is unique looking, at least in my opinion. At first glance, you might think this is very bare bone, very lackluster of a Gotham. Everyone views Gotham as like the blimps in the sky, the giant moon in the sky as well, rain coming down, eerie crime noir sense of just mere corruption around every corner. But I do feel like this game has much of like a mixture of both that and the unfortunate and very questionable Val Kilmer type movie. That one, Batman Forever, right? I forgot Joel Schumacher. That one. You know the lights in that game. I almost said that game. Excuse me. That movie. You had the lights, all the cool flashy things to it, to the way the buildings looked in that movie. Essentially, it's kind of like this. What this is. And I mean, I like it. It's nice. It's different than your typical Gotham that we're so accustomed to. The movement is another con that I do not like. I do not like. All I'm doing is this, basically, to move around. And if you do the bicycle, it's just okay. It's not the greatest thing in the world. It really isn't. It's nowhere near as good as the Batmobile in Arkham Knight. No. I feel like when I move my character, right there was a big frame drop for no reason. Terrible. Unacceptable in every way. So, if I wanted to just get down, right, on a ledge, for example. See, right there, that made sense. He just dropped down. But there have been times where I get stuck on something. Going downstairs, I would get stuck on the steps on the side. Going inside vents, I would be glued to the wall. As if I am in quicksand on the wall and I can't seem to move. The movement feels very wonky and unresponsive. I don't know why that is. And I hope they patch that, because the movement in this game, or at least not the movement per se. I'm not saying it's bad, like it's very inconsistent. There are times where you jump, you're already like moving forward. I'm holding forward right now to see if I go up, and I do. All right. But if I don't hit a button, let's see if I go up. I don't go up. Okay. As you can see, the lights, the way it hits, definitely has a unique look to it. The ability tree is very just bare bone, and it's not as extensive as I thought it would be. Most of the combat meats and potatoes is going to come from momentum abilities, and once you unlock them all, I haven't unlocked them yet. You can do some pretty cool things. I mean, I will say that. Very RPG-esque, and that's what this game is kind of trying to do. This game's RPG elements is very, very light. Almost like a pinch of RPG elements. I wouldn't even call it an RPG, in my opinion. I mean, just because you get to change the way your guy looks and you can add stats to your character, that's just not really an RPG in my book. That's barely an RPG. That's like one very small ingredient for an RPG. But anyway, the abilities are just very lackluster. The gear, I will say this: the gear. One of the pros I like. I'm sorry I'm all over the place with cons and pros. This is just off the top of my head. The suits in this game is one of the best selling points. This is amazing. You get to customize the way your guy looks. We've only, I mean, it's 3 varieties, but I just love the inclusion of just having the ability to change the way your guy looks through each piece. I love that. From the colorways of the cowl, the symbol, the gloves and boots. And then you go to transmogs and change. And these outfits, ladies and gentlemen, are absolutely amazing. I don't think there's a bad one. The only I can think one that's bad is maybe Talon. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Talon, but even this looks nice. You have mods, you have crafting, you have salvage. And these salvages, they've really come. There's plentiful amounts of salvage around the world, especially when you defeat enemies. You'll be able to acquire these salvages components. There are challenges in this game, but they're very they're kind of like tied to missions in a way. The UI is very bare bone, lackluster, and doesn't have any sort of definable traits that would point it to being a Gotham Knight game. Most games have like a UI that is very tied to that game in particular, maybe by the font or by the background or by the way it looks. Like Cyberpunk, for example, you can tell that is a Cyberpunk game or that is Cyberpunk by the UI. This UI, I've been told, I watched a video, I forgot the gentleman's name, but he talked about, he was a UI designer for about 10 years, and he said that this UI is just not very good. And I have to agree. It's just bare bone. It's just okay. It's as if the developers made the UI and just said, "Oh, that'll do." There you go. It just feels like not that exceptional. It's just a bunch of words in a box and a background of blue and purple. Okay. All right. Cool. Brilliant. The last thing I want to say that's also a plus is the animations for takedowns and ambush takedowns and a lot of the like finishers. Even though the finishers, like the last guy in the fight, sometimes you'll be able to do a finisher, quote unquote. But for some reason, a lot of them don't really trigger for some reason. I don't know if it's a certain way you have to attack the enemy or if it's if it's random. Whatever the case may be, I mean, I do like the takedowns, but the animations for stealth takedowns, if I can find one to show you what I mean, perhaps I gotta go. Looks like I gotta go this way. People say the game is very empty, like there's not a lot of people outside, and here's the thing. Gotham City is supposed to be filled with a lot of crime, and essentially no one should be safe going outside. A great example for trying to do traversing or any sort of movement is right here. Now, I aimed my guy up there, and I was trying to aim right there. For some reason, he goes to here. Why? Don't know. Okay, so allow me to show you. Okay, right there. I was holding the joystick to the right to move.
You keep moving, I'm gonna keep hitting.
Look at that. Look at that animation. Love it.
Thanks for doing that. I see someone playing here.
Oh, nope. Yeah, the dialogue for these people are very.
This'll make you.
What was that? Why is she? Whoa, buddy! Oh, this is not a normal person. This is a new one. Let's see if I can trigger it. Yep, I can. Boom. Excellent. Awesome. The animations, the takedown animations are just amazing. They are absolutely amazing. I love the takedowns. They never get old. Even though the stealth is very bare bone and just basic and not deep at all, the stealth is not that good. It's just okay. It's just whatever. And you would think that in the Bat family that they would have some form of weapons or gadgets that can aid them in stealth, like smoke bombs that you can actually aim instead of using it as an escape method, whatever. Overall, I will say this: I haven't gotten that far in the game, right? But the game definitely needs a lot of love, and I do think that unfortunately I wish maybe it should have been in the oven just a bit longer. I don't appreciate the 30 frames per second. I'm sorry, I just don't. I'm playing the game now. Obviously, it's whatever, but I do wish it was 60. And I do believe that if you removed ray tracing and maybe bump down the, you know, resolution just a little bit, I'm pretty sure something could happen. The gameplay loop is, to me, it's not. It's getting a little repetitive. It's getting a little bit kind of samey, and the combat is not bad. It's okay. I love the takedown animations. I will always love them. They're just so good. And in my opinion, I think they're better than the Batman ones. Because a lot of Batman Arkham series, a lot of the takedowns were just you choking somebody out, and it was cool. But you had like the inverted takedown. You had things from below. You could do it from a wall. But if we're just talking about like walking behind somebody and hitting triangle or hitting Y or hitting whatever button it is on the keyboard, it was essentially just you choking them out. And maybe three variations of that animation. Where in this game, there's a lot of different types of animations. The the way Robin does it, Batgirl, Red Hood, Nightwing, everyone. The way the Knights have their own unique takedown is amazing. Is this game worth your money? In my opinion, it is worth a rent or wait for a sale. It's not a bad game by any means. I do see that there was some love put in this game. I do feel that. I do feel that the developers who made this game put some love into it. They were trying their best. And I do see that. But a lot of things fall short with the 30 frames per second, which it's a very simple fix. I don't know why they can't just take something, whatever. The 30 frames per second, the gameplay loop, a lot of the a lot of the fighting can be very samey, and I do wish that there was a takedown button per se that would at least give more flow to the fight. Because a lot of the moves are just you doing the same thing over and over again, and it can be fun at first and fun for a while, but eventually it's going to get boring and dull very, very quickly, and it's just not that good. Not that compelling, nor is it deep. So, to me, I don't regret my purchase. I don't regret having this game. In fact, I am enjoying the game. But yes, there are some things about this game that have issues that need to be addressed. And if anyone is watching this, if anybody is watching this, if you're a fan of Batman, if you were thinking about getting Gotham Knights, and of any way, or if you are the developers of Gotham Knights, let me tell you, this game is not bad. It's good. I do like the story. I'm intrigued. But the one thing that would really help this game out is performance. It is unacceptable. I'm going to be honest with you. It is unacceptable that console players have to spend $10 more to play a lesser game. It's $70 for the base game on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X. But on PC, it's $60. That is absolutely unacceptable. Why should anyone pay $10 more for a lesser experience or a lesser quality of anything? Of anything, it is unacceptable. If anyone is hearing this that is from the developers, listen to me. Fix that issue now. It is unacceptable. It should not ever happen. I don't care about your very, in my opinion, poor excuse of a reason why it cannot run at 60 frames. One of the she was a lady, I forgot her name, but she went in a Discord and she basically said, "Hey, we can't do 60 frames because it's not that simple because of the tethering experience and the gameplay." And I was like, no, sorry. A lot of people were attacking her for it. That was not right. This should be addressed. It needs to be addressed as soon as possible. If they can make this game run at 60 frames, at least close to it, then yes, thank God. Thank you. I would love it. But right now, 30 frames in 2022 on a PS5? Unacceptable. Anyway, that is my video on Gotham Knights. If you're thinking about getting it, I would suggest you wait for a sale. That is my opinion. A review is coming for this game. It'll be the first review of my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, take care.